What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is August 29th of 2017. So I've been getting message after message after message on my channel about one thing and one thing only, and that is the recent price action we saw in NIO. We saw sort of a mini flash crash in NIO's price action after an announcement that the NIO team made. So a lot of you have been concerned, though. A lot of you don't really know what's going on, and you're asking me like, Nick, is the company collapsing? Is the NIO team disbanded? Or what's going on? Have they been arrested? Has the project failed? Did someone find a break in the technology? No, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with NIO right now. Everything's still running and operational and fine. So I really want to give you all a level-headed analysis talking about why this has happened and really kind of get you set in the right mindset first and foremost before we dive into the reason why this happened and how you should approach the recent news. So to address the topic first at hand, we saw NIO has been generally, before we even talk about the flash crash, going through a little bit of a pullback since its highs around the $2.5 billion range. And more recently, we saw a flash crash over the past few hours this morning where NIO lost about $400 million in valuation and quickly rebounded back some of its losses. Now, why did this happen? Well, like I said, I want to get to it. However, I want to kind of mention here that there's been a little bit of flooding in the market generally for Chinese ICOs. So, for example, a Misego, NIO, 10X, whatever it may be, a lot of people have been holding these positions, and they bought in because we talk optimistically about them on the channel. And they're telling me, like, Nick, my NIO and 10X, they're not moving 10 to 15% up each and every day. Should I sell? Should I get out? Folks, we're going through what's commonly known as a pullback. Okay, it's technical analysis 101. We experience pullbacks in these markets, and we try to find ways. For example, in this Cointelegraph article, of reasons why it's happening. The ghost month, which is supposedly a tradition in China where people usually on this month are usually fearful and they think the evil spirits come out, and it's just a general cultural thing in China. However, it's not the reason why this is happening. And what we do here, and especially in the media, you'll always find we try to find correlations with why things happen. Okay, so the general pullback in NIO is nothing to worry about. Today, there was a very specific reason why it happened, and this is actually directly tied with a fundamental worry. And that is the fact that NIO, China's Ethereum that we've been talking about, is currently temporarily, not officially, temporarily cutting off its connections with Chinese consumers. Now, I know that might scare you, and you might be wondering, why the heck would they do that, seeing as they're a Chinese cryptocurrency? Well, the reason being is because of a recent headline that came out. China right now is planning a supposed crackdown on ICOs, okay? So they've been talking about this for quite some time as ICOs are becoming a bigger topic in China, and I really want to take this with an investor's mindset and approach. Now, I don't want to be biased here. I want to be fair and state that this is a genuine worry, okay? There is a sense of genuine fear that can come with this, and you have to correctly adjust it to your risk-reward profile. So let's talk about this in a fundamental sense. Again, as I stated before, nothing has fundamentally changed for the NIO team, okay? Now, we've seen NIO's price drop down, but the team is still there. They're still working on their tech in their office place. They're doing everything as they usually do. Still got the open source code you can go see on GitHub. Everything's fine fundamentally with NIO. The problem is right now, is seeing as there's a worry that China's going to crack down on the ICOs, they've temporarily decided to simply set themselves in a protected regulatory space where they won't be worried of China coming in and barging down their doors and arresting them. Now, I don't think that is going to happen, and I can prove that later on when we look at the price action of other Chinese ICOs. But I think that people are reacting specifically because NIO and its team are taking it seriously. And I think that it's so silly because, quite frankly, I think that it's an extremely mature step on NIO's point. I think that the fact that they're setting themselves up in a very safe spot in the sense of China possibly doing a sense of a crackdown or a regulatory structure over ICOs really shows that they're a mature player, and the Chinese government will note things like that. I think the reason the Chinese government is concerned right now with ICOs in a more fundamental sense is because there's been over $400 million coming into this market, and that's growing each and every day. There are hundreds of thousands of people, as you can see right here, who have participated in these ICOs. And China, quite frankly, doesn't have much of a regulatory structure around these ICOs. It's relatively new, and it's an exciting industry, yet at the same time, there's a lot of scamming. There's a lot of undeveloped projects. And I think that because of that, China's government realizes it and they want to step in and, just like other equities markets, have a sense of regulation. We talked about this in our catalyst video on U.S. markets, how the SEC might step in on ICOs. Folks, it's the same thing here. There's not much regulation on cryptocurrencies. And don't believe me? I see pump and dumps every single day on exchanges. It happens all the time. There are also scams that raise millions of dollars of Ethereum and they run away with it. I'm all for governments not being and overstepping in cryptocurrencies. I'm not bending over to China right now. However, I'm saying that I think they generally want to crack down on bad ICOs that have scammed people, and they want to make sure that this is a regulated, steady market where people can actually put money into it, know they're putting it into good investment vehicles, and make steady returns with it. I don't think that China wants to go and barge down the doors of NEO and shut down their operations. China is a place of ambition and entrepreneurship. I gotta say, if there's anything I appreciate China for, is that the fact that over the past few years, in the past 2 decades alone, where China used to be a very agricultural state, a very rural state, it has become a global economic superpower. And it is because culturally they are a very hardworking nation and they are very set on expansion. And I do not think that with cryptocurrencies, I think they already know that cryptocurrencies are the next big step in technology, finance, and every single industry where we can utilize blockchain. I know that they do not want to stop these ICOs from doing what they're doing, because if they do, they're going to lose their shirt in the sense of competition to the United States, to Russia, to South Korea, Japan, whatever other countries are trying to participate in the rush to ICOs. Plain and simple. I think that they'd be missing out on one of the biggest opportunities, and they're going to fall behind as a global economic superpower if they do this. And I think they realize that, because the tax dollars they raise come from the businesses that are going to use this. And if they aren't helping businesses stay ahead of the competition, China's economy will fall behind and the tax revenue goes down. Governments don't like that. So I think they understand when too much regulation is too much, and I don't think, in a fundamental sense, that they're going to stop the ICOs from completing what they're doing. And I think that NEO's taking the right step and at least saying, hey, look, we are listening to you loud and clear. We want to cooperate and be seen as a true investment vehicle in China and also a way to do business. We hope you can respect that. I think that's awesome. And as with so many scams that come through the ICO market, it is a fresh breath air to see a company acting mature like that and promptly reacting to the legal structure of the country it's dependent on, okay? So that's my opinion. I would like to get a discussion going on in the comments below. Do you all think of it in a different perspective? Are you a little more fearful? I want to hear from you guys. But on a technical perspective, NEO not only has rebounded and found support at the 700,000 Satoshi level, I think it's going to continue back up and correlate a lot of this price action. So it's not much to worry about. You can see that it's holding currently at these levels relatively well. I just think the reason why it sold off so drastically is because we didn't know how to react to the news. Plus, there wasn't any clear true support levels at the time. So, and you get that too. If you get 2 or 3 big investors selling off NEO, you're going to get what seems to be like a flash crash where things just start pouring off and the volume starts coming in. So I really think the majority of this was caused by a very select few investors in China who are worried for themselves, in the sense of being a part of an ICO that might get, cracked down on. That being said, we're very early on in this market, folks. You've got to assess your risk-reward profiles. And I'm going to say something. Remember earlier how I told you how I don't think there's going to be a crackdown on China and ICOs, and I don't think that it's being taken seriously. You want me to show you a few examples? Let's go ahead and look at Amise Go. It's at fresh new highs. No flooding here. At completely higher levels than I even thought. I thought we were getting an ascending wedge here and it was going to break down. It's at new highs. And what about Quantum right here? Well, it had a little bit of a pullback today from its highs, but man, Quantum sure is, it's not going down. Higher volume than ever on Quantum, so buyers are coming in. I just think it's, as always, fudding, folks. We have to always not look at the headlines, not get freaked out when something dips like this, and not panic sell when it's down like this. Nothing's fundamentally changed. Look towards the fundamentals. And look to add when there is fighting in the street. Okay, when there's fear and blood in the street, that is when you buy into cryptocurrencies. That's when you buy into stocks or other assets, so long as nothing has fundamentally changed. buy off what someone's selling off at a low price. Add to your position. Now, of course, I'm not telling you that as, a specific, investment decision. You have to go out and do your own research, and you have to assess your risk to reward profile. But you all know I'm optimistic on this, and I fundamentally believe in this project. I haven't sold a bit of my NEO, and I'm not going to. I'm looking to hopefully add at this position if I can get the funds available at the time. I would love to invest in some more NEO and hopefully really boost up my position here, because I think this is a wonderful pullback opportunity in its price action. We are seeing a perfectly fine pullback in NEO. So, realizing all of that, is NEO going to continue to pull back for a day or two? It might. I don't know. It looks like it's coming back up here, and it's going to find a general close up here at this support level where I roughly bought it at. Okay, I bought it at around 780,000 satoshis. So I'm down a little bit on my investment, but it's only been a few days, guys. We have to look at it in the long term. Okay, so long as nothing's fundamentally changed, I'm not selling, and I hope that if you're optimistic as I am on NEO, you're not buying into the flooding as well. But then again, we all have our own risk-reward profiles. I want you to do as you feel comfortable with. Don't just mask my trades or my opinion. Think freely for yourself, folks. I believe in you because not only have I done everything that I've done on this channel has been to help share opportunities with you and then also teach you to go out and do it on your own. Go trade and invest as you want to get paid and assess your risk and reward profiles. Yes, this is a genuine concern, but quite frankly, I think in a business sense, China wouldn't even dare try to stop ICOs. It would be a setback for them, in my opinion, and I hope that you see it in the same light as I do. That all being said, folks, I'd love to hear what you all think in the comments below. As I stated before, I want to hear what you have to say, get a discussion going. And if you got a coin or token that I haven't covered or a topic that's going on cryptocurrencies, I'd love to cover it. Just leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to it as soon as possible. But until then, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.